Welcome to Redneck Outfitters, where the labor's cheap and the advice is free. Thanks for joining us. first coat went on real well. I don't know if when I was ordering this, if I goofed up, they goofed up, or it just happened to be what it was. Maybe I ordered this, I don't know. The first go around I had ordered the urethane paint. And, you know, it's supposed to last longer. From what I've been told, it's a little tougher to shoot than this acrylic enamel, which they say only lasts maybe 5-10 years if you take care of it. As long as I got this thing, it's not going to be a daily driver. It's probably going to be in the garage a lot. So 5 or 10 years, I'm almost 60. What the hell? But it did shoot a little easier, it seemed like to me. It doesn't go on quite as thick. It's not quite as thick of a paint. But the first coat looks real nice. Best thing about this, only takes 5-10 minutes to flash. So you can get right back into your next coat, so which is what I'm getting ready to do. So hopefully I'm going to put in another 2 or 3, maybe 4 if I got enough paint. Get this thing coated up and ready to roll. Well, just as I was about to receive the Factory Garage Comeback Painter of the Year award, kind of bounced back. Car looks real nice. Looks real nice. Got 3 coats on, and everything's looking smooth. No runs, no major screw ups like last time. Hopefully, knock on wood, it'll dry well. You know, I did that bragging on that blue tape, and I probably spoke too soon because it tore some of my interior paint off when I unmasked everything, which it's okay because a lot of it was in areas that's going to be covered up anyway. The other areas, I got some on the door there I got to touch up, but that'll give me a chance to use the small paint gun to touch those up. I got plenty of paint left, so that's no big deal. I'm happy with that. But yeah, it turned out real well. So I'm going to continue to let it dry. This stuff's pretty fast drying. So I think it's going to look about like it's going to look. And you know, it's not silky smooth by any means. It's got a little texture to it, but it's not really orange peel. So, or I wouldn't consider it orange peel anyway. But as long as it's a uniform texture, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to cut and buff this thing. I'm going to let it dry out, and I may leave that to a professional when I get all done to kind of clean this paint up, see if they can do anything with it. But I'm not going to mess with it. I tried that last time. Ain't going to happen. So anyway, this is the result. Everything's looking good so far. Well, hopefully, as you can see, things worked out pretty well. You know, I had to mess up on the first go around of painting this thing, and I wasn't happy with it. So I decided, sand it back down, do it over, take my time, fix my mistakes. And man, I'm glad I did. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. I'm happy with myself now that I didn't just say, oh, that's good enough. I took the extra step, took a couple steps back, extra step forward, and you know, it was definitely worth it. So, you know, if I can give anybody any advice, whether you've done this 100 years or, you know, you've never done it, don't quit on yourself. You know, do what you think is right. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Do what you think is right. Do what's going to make you happy. And repainting this thing made me happy because it's a lot better looking now than what it was. You know, like I said earlier, the first time I painted it was with urethane paint. And I will say it's probably a little the urethane was probably a little glossier, a little flashier than this acrylic. But, you know, for what I'm using it for, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it looks nice. You know, maybe it'll kind of shine up when it's all dried up and everything a little bit, but I don't think it's quite as smooth as the urethane. But this was real easy to spray. The urethane was a 4-to-1 mix. This is an 8-to-1 mix, and which is, you know, just ratios. But I didn't do real good on ratios, especially 6th grade math. That's why I spent the whole summer in my yard. But anyway, that's another story. But you can do it, man. You can do it. Don't be afraid of it. There's nothing here to be afraid of. Like I said, if you mess it up, you can go back and straighten it up. There's always a way to fix it. You know, I know one of the YouTubers, and I can't think of his name. You might have watched him. He says it's just paint. And it's true. It's just paint. It can be removed. It can be redone. And that right there is living proof. So don't be afraid to correct your mistakes. You know, if you got the time, take it. So don't rush it, because you're not going to be happy with it. So anyway, once this dries, maybe in the next week or so, we can start putting it back together. And that's going to get exciting. So stay with us. Thanks for joining us.